Welcome to Spectrum News at 4, coming to you live from Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital. My name is Ofonono Joseph. Let's take a look at the top stories. President Tinubu to unveil revised national counter-terrorism strategy in October. Governor Omoyeno gives December 2025 as timeline for inauguration of world-class Ibomorais Resort project. Plus, UK Prime Minister Starmer says Israeli strikes on hospital indefensible. Stay tuned for details of these stories and more in a moment. Many thanks for joining us on the news at 4. We begin the news this hour from the national scene where President Bola Tinubu is expected to officially launch Nigeria's revised national counter-terrorism strategy in October, following the completion of an extensive review process designed to align the nation's security framework with emerging threats. The national coordinator of the National Counter-Terrorism Center, Major General Adamu Laka, disclosed this at the third quarter stakeholders meeting of NACTEST in Abuja, where he affirmed that the document has been finalized and forwarded to the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, for approval. He explained that the review initiated in February 2025 was necessitated by the evolving nature of terrorism, including shifting tactics, the use of new technologies, and the exploitation of social and economic vulnerabilities. According to him, the revised strategy was enriched through consultations, workshops, validation sessions, and technical reviews that brought together government institutions, security agencies, civil society organizations, academia, the private sector, and international partners. Away from that, members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, today embarked on a nationwide protest to highlight what they described as the federal government's persistent neglect of its long-standing demands. At the University of Jos, members of the union staged a demonstration before addressing journalists, where they announced their outright rejection of the recently introduced Tertiary Institution Staff Support Fund Loan Scheme. ASU branch chairperson Joseph Morwas said the initiative was not a solution but a deliberate attempt to push lecturers deeper into financial hardship. According to him, the loan scheme was nothing but a poison chalice designed to impoverish university teachers rather than address the reality of their economic situation. On electoral matters, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says over 1.3 million Nigerians have completed their online pre-registration for voter cards within the first week of the ongoing nationwide Continuous Voter Registration (CVR) exercise. According to a statement by the Commission, the online registration, which began on August 18, 2025, recorded 1.3 million applications. INEC described the turnout as an encouraging start to the exercise, which will run until August 30, 2026. The Commission released a breakdown of the figures showing that 47.96% are male, while 52.04% are female. Young people aged 18 to 34 formed the majority with 62.37%. Back here, the Akwa Ibom State Resident Electoral Commissioner, REC, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Obo Efanga, has reaffirmed the Commission's readiness to ensure eligible Nigerians are fully captured in the ongoing voter registration exercise. Speaking with Spectrum Television, he explained that the exercise is available both online and physically at designated centers, stressing that citizens can begin their registration process through the INEC online portal by filling in their personal details before visiting a registration center for biometric capture. He added that those who prefer to register directly can also do so by visiting INEC offices in approved registration centers across the state. The dual process, he said, was introduced to ease access, reduce congestion, and encourage wider participation in the electoral process.
Who want to register have the option of coming to us directly at the registration center and starting and completing the process, or they can start with the online pre-registration, fill in all the information, take their photographs online, and then pick a center, a time and a date to come to the center to complete the process for us to take their fingerprints, and the process is completed. For you to register as a voter in Nigeria, first you must be a Nigerian and you must be up to 18 years of age at the time you come to register, not when the election would be held. For those people who have access to go online, apart from fresh registrants, any other thing they want to do, they can do it online. And for the fresh registrants, they can start off the process online. That's why we call it pre-registration, and they only come for us to capture their fingerprints, which makes it shorter for them. So when they come, they don't have to be on the same line with people who are coming.
Speaking on the challenges faced during the process, Efanga cited minor technology challenges which he noted will be resolved as the process progresses. He further stated that in Akwa Ibom, the response has been positive, with 543 fresh applicants in the continuous voter registration.
This yesterday, so there may be teething problems that we are trying to resolve. Maybe sometimes the technology not working very fast, but we are working on that. I'm sure that as we progress today and in the next few days, things will go very well. So for yesterday, which was when we started the physical registration, and those who did online had to come and complete it. In Akwa Ibom State, across the state, we registered more than 500, and it shows local government by local governments.
The REC urged the Akwa Ibomites to register for their voters' card, warning those that are already registered to avoid registering again. He further urged those who have changed their place of residence, misplaced their permanent voter cards, or need corrections on their details to make use of the opportunity, stressing that the voter's card remains the only valid tool for exercising the right to vote in the forthcoming elections.
At people who have since turned 18 after the last time we registered, and people who, for some reason, couldn't register all this while and they want to register, they can do that. But I know that there are some people who registered previously. They are still in a register. They may want to make changes to their information. They want to change their name. They want to change their date of birth. They want to vote in a different polling unit from where they were voting before. They can do the changes. They can do it online or come to us physically, but they will not be registered afresh. We will just change the information they have as they want. For those who haven't registered, this is an opportunity to register. If you've registered before, please don't attempt to register again, because you would just have wasted your time, our time, and the time of other legitimate persons who ought to register by you being on the queue. And then eventually we will still cancel that your attempt to register.
In the meantime, as part of his preparations to make the upcoming Yuletide most memorable in Akwa Ibom State, the state governor, Pastor Omoeno, has given December 2025 as timeline for inauguration of the world-class Ibomorais Resort project. Governor Omoeno, who disclosed this when he fielded questions from Government House correspondents, noted that the multifaceted recreational facility will be managed by a private recreation firm of international standard. Leading a team of investors on a tour of the resort, the governor said all the necessary operational mechanisms must first be put in place before the facility kickstarts its full operations in December to make a most eventful and exciting Christmas celebration for Akwa Ibomites. Registering his remarks, the Chief Executive Officer and President of Digital Learning Network of Chicago, USA, Thomas Lamina, expressed excitement over the breathtaking aerial view and standard of facilities put up at the resort. Lamina commended Governor Omoeno for the impressive work done at the former 70 hectares once dreaded gully erosion site, having been transformed to a spectacular world-class tourism and recreation delight, and assured the governor of his organization's readiness to partner with the state government to promote more development strides of the administration. Meanwhile, the Akwa Ibom State government has revoked all land allocations made between May 29, 2023 and August 25, 2025, including government-acquired lands. In a statement, the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Ukwesienu Udom SAN, explained that the action is to enable the revalidation of all land allocations and migration to the new digital Akwa GIS platform. During the transition, all fresh allocations and land transactions are suspended for 1 month, during which period the Directorate of Land shall be shut, while the revalidation exercise will last 2 months, to be conducted by the GIS office in the Ministry of Lands and Town Planning. Meanwhile, the government has warned that any land allocation or interest not revalidated within this period will be declared invalid. Also, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Omoeno has approved a reshuffle of portfolios in the State Executive Council in line with his administration's Arise agenda. According to a statement signed by the Secretary to the State Government, Prince Enobonwa, the reshuffle affects 2 commissioners. By the directive, Captain Inyobong Ekong, retired, who was previously the Commissioner for Lands and Town Planning, will now serve as the Commissioner for Trade and Investment. On the other hand, Dr. Ubong Iyang, who was in charge of the Ministry of Trade and Investment, has been redeployed to the Ministry of Lands and Town Planning. The statement further noted that the reshuffle takes immediate effect. Still in Akwa Ibom, the Akwa Ibom State government has announced the disengagement of Udeme Daniel Issa from his position as Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Land Matters. In a letter signed by the Secretary to the State Government, Prince Enobonwa, the Governor, Pastor Omoeno, approved Issa's disengagement with immediate effect. The government, however, appreciated his contributions to the development of the state and wished him success in his future endeavors. The letter further directed him to hand over all official documents and property to the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Lands before vacating office. Moving now to Africa, where as millions of children in Ethiopia remain out of school, the Amhara region has launched a massive registration campaign. The Regional State Education Bureau says it plans to enroll 7.4 million students for the 2025-2026 academic year. It has allotted a large budget to train over 10,000 teachers and school leaders, while more than 24,000 other educators have also received training through the Ministry of Education. Data from the United Nations Children's Agency, UNICEF, shows that 4.4 million children in Amhara did not attend school last year, the highest number in Ethiopia. Over the past 2 years, armed conflict and insecurity have prevented millions of students from returning to classrooms. Officials say the impacts of climate change include floods and drought have also severely challenged the region's education system. On the foreign scene, Downing Street has condemned Israeli strikes on a hospital in southern Gaza as horrific and completely indefensible. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer's official spokesperson said journalists should always be protected, noting that the strikes illustrated the need for a ceasefire. Reports say at least 20 people were killed in the strikes on Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis. Meanwhile, the Israeli government has issued a statement saying Israel deeply regrets the tragic mishap that occurred, adding that the military is conducting a thorough investigation. Still on the foreign scene, Iran vowed reciprocal action today after Australia expelled its ambassador over accusations that Tehran was behind anti-Semitic arson attacks in Sydney and Melbourne. Recall that Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said earlier that Iran was behind the torching of a kosher cafe in Sydney's Bondi suburb in October 2024 and directed a major arson attack on the Adas Israel Synagogue in Melbourne in December of the same year. Australia declared Iranian Ambassador Ahmed Sadeghi persona non grata and ordered him and 3 other officials to leave the country within 7 days. It also withdrew its own ambassador to Iran and suspended operations at its embassy in Tehran, which opened in 1968. Still to come in the news. Dortmund signs Chelsea's Chukwuemeka in £24 million deal. Stay tuned for details of these stories and more in a jiffy. Welcome back. Many thanks for staying with us. Now we conclude the rest of our news stories. On our business news, the Nigeria Customs Service Apapa Area Command has announced the collection of 161 billion naira in revenue within 3 weeks via the Unified Customs Management System, also known as B-Odogun. The Customs Area Controller in charge of the command, Babatunde Olomu, disclosed this during a recent stakeholder engagement at the command. Olomo maintained that there are prospects of improvement in the B-Odogun system, even as he commended the stakeholders for their patience and understanding. The Apapa Customs boss reiterated that the dedication ICT department of the service has been working around the clock to achieve a permanent solution to the impasse. Still in business, analysts have projected that Nigeria's external reserves would rise to about $45 billion, I beg your pardon, by the end of the year, thus strengthening the ability of the Central Bank of Nigeria to provide a buffer for the foreign exchange market and general economy. This projection followed the rise of the exchange reserves to $41 billion last Tuesday, the highest level recorded in 44 months, according to CBN data. The appreciation in the reserves signaled a significant recovery following depletion driven by external debt repayments. The reserves have experienced a sustained appreciation in August, increasing by $1.56 billion from $39.54 billion on August 1. Representing a 3.95% increase in less than a month. According to the analyst at Cowrie Asset Management in their weekly market report, the momentum of reserve growth appears likely to continue, supported by a steady offshore inflows and potential external borrowings planned by the government. We move now to health, where the Nigerian Medical Association Lagos State Chapter has condemned the continued denial of call-duty meals to doctors on overnight and emergency shift at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Idi Araba, describing the situation as inhumane and unacceptable. The association said youth doctors have allegedly worked without meals during call duties for over 5 years, despite repeated complaints and engagement with the hospital's management. According to reports, for over 5 years, the doctors at Luth were not receiving any meal allowance, despite agitations from major associations like the Medical and Dental Association of Nigeria and the Association of Resident Doctors. Talking sports now, where Borussia Dortmund have signed England youth international Carney Chukwuemeka from Chelsea on a 5-year contract. The 21-year-old spent the second half of last season on loan at the German club and joined in a deal that could be worth about £24 million. The attacking midfielder 32 appearances for Chelsea after a £20 million move from Aston Villa in 2022. Chukwuemeka transfer means Chelsea's income from player sales this summer is more than £270 million, almost balancing out the £277 million spent on incoming transfers. Still in sports, French giants Paris Saint-Germain PSG have confirmed the signing of Super Falcons forward Rashid Ajibade. The Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON winning captain joins a 2-year deal after leaving Spanish side Atletico de Madrid at the end of last season. The 24-year-old links up with compatriot Jennifer Echegini as Le Parisniers strengthened their squad in a bid to reclaim the Ligue 1 feminine title, which they last won in 2021. Meanwhile, Ajibade shone at the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations, where she was voted player of the tournament after scoring 1 goal and providing 2 assists as Nigeria claimed a record 10th continental crown. On our entertainment news, the Miss Universe Nigeria 2025 pageant is gearing up for its grand finale, with 22 finalists from across the federation competing for the coveted crown. These talented ladies were introduced on the competition's official website and social media platforms, showcasing their beauty, intelligence, and passion for advocacy. As they prepare to represent their states and champion various causes, the contestants have embarked on a series of preparatory activities. The winner will succeed the outgoing queen, Chidinma Adesina, and represent Nigeria at the Miss Universe International Finals later this year. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 4. I remain Ofonono Joseph. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.